Good morning, everybody. Great to see you all today. Hope you had a restful Thanksgiving weekend and that you ate a lot of pie. That's my favorite thing about the holiday. We had a very busy weekend in downtown SLO. And for those of you who have wandered through Mission Plaza, you know what I'm talking about. But the spirit of the holidays is really alive throughout the downtown. So for those of you who might be joining us, and it's been a little while, my name is Bettina Swigger, and I'm the CEO of Downtown SLO, your business organization. And this is our board of directors and our liaisons to the city and the county. So thank you to our board of directors for their volunteer service to our downtown. And I want to give a big shout out to especially our BARD president, Pat Arnold, who has been so instrumental in bringing the Light Up Downtown program to life over the last week and a half. So thank you so much, Pat. You're truly our legendary elf. You're our buddy. So thank you. Our board of directors has been hard of work behind the scenes and publicly selling raffle tickets. And I also want to thank everybody for doing such a great job selling raffle tickets. We raised $13,170 in our raffle. And our treasurer's wife, Robin Dudley, pictured here, was our drawing elf for the final drawing over the weekend. We had 9 amazing prizes donated from businesses around the downtown. And it was really a wonderful culmination to this season. So thank you to all of you who donated prizes, who bought tickets, who participated and shared the love. This was really a wonderful activity for us. We do still have a little bit of a gap for our fundraising goals. So if you want to make a donation to the Friends of Downtown SLO, you can do that on our website. But we really appreciate everybody. And this is a slide that I did not finish editing, so I'm going to skip ahead to the next one. So our Light Up Downtown program really kicked off over the weekend. We have partnered with Carson Butler Events at the Always store and the city of San Luis Obispo to create not just a magical Mission Plaza as a replacement for the holiday parade, but additional lighted experiences throughout the downtown. So we have, this is a little map of what we've got going on right here. You can see we have the Holiday Plaza and Mission Plaza. There are 5 different Instagram pods located there, as well as Santa's house, a 20-foot tall holiday tree, thanks to all of those of you who helped decorate us. We have zigzag street lighting over the Higuera Marsh and Monterey streets, and I've been hearing lots of really positive comments about that. The number one question I'm getting is, how do we make that permanent? And we might be having a conversation with the city and Public Works about how to make that a reality. We also have some moving light displays at the county library. There are some projections on the parking structures. There are 2 movies. One is on the side of the Carson Butler store. You can see little snippets of A Christmas Story, and then Miracle of 34th Street is playing on Higuera Street off of Blue Mercury. So we hope that you'll take a look around downtown, go onto our website and see all of the amazing activities. There are also more than 30 actually, holiday themed windows, and you can vote for your favorite. There's a QR code in every window, and you can go there and log on. New this year, we also have activated a number of vacant storefronts, and I want to thank the property owners who allowed us to participate with that. We've partnered with, so far, 7 performing arts nonprofits who have been lighting up some of our vacant storefronts. So thanks to them for really putting their imagination and their creativity to use and brightening up our downtown. We also have the Search for Santa's Mouse, which went live this weekend. This is a collaboration with the Children's Museum and has been a really wonderful thing. So that's the good news. And now I'm going to invite Rachel, our Chief Operating Officer, to talk a little bit about how we're doing COVID-wise in the holiday season.
Thanks, Bettina. As of Friday, 6,129 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in SLO County. The city accounts for 1,470 of those cases. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 is 36 in the county, and since we last spoke 2 weeks ago, that number has increased, and our thoughts are with the families and friends of those individuals. Testing is available if you are symptomatic. ReadySLO.org has the information on who can be tested and more details on that. Due to COVID-19 increasing at an alarming rate in California, a curfew is in effect to stop non-essential activities between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in counties that are in the widespread purple tier, which on the next slide, we can see that SLO County does remain in that tier of the state's blueprint for a safer economy. A note also, I'm not sure since the last time we spoke, or just a reminder that now, given the surge across California, that the tier assignments can occur at any day of the week and can also happen more than once per week. And with that, Bettina, I will turn it back over to you.
Great, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, and just addition to this, what's happening on a local, county, and a state level, the cases are continuing to surge nationally. And if you had maybe tuned out of listening to the governor's updates over the last couple of weeks or months, I would highly recommend tuning in regularly for the next few weeks, because we'll see. I mean, the curfew went into effect pretty quickly, and the governor usually gives some little indications and clues about what's coming. But I suspect personally that there probably will be some other restrictions coming down the line. Our next speaker is going to be Courtney Kino from our board of directors from Cal Poly. Good morning, Courtney. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Bettina?
Great.
Good. Not much for you all this morning. Campus is really quiet, as you might expect, since it's mostly closed. This is finals week, which are all taking place virtually, since we asked students to return to their permanent residences about 10 days ago on the 20th. We have very few students that are remaining on campus, including only those that had special circumstances and couldn't return home for some reason, or who are finishing out their isolation and quarantine orders on campus. Winter quarter will start on January 4th. All students living on campus or coming to campus, as I've told you all previously, will be required to comply with our testing programs, and those that live off campus will be strongly encouraged to do so. That includes requiring students to take a test and provide proof of a negative result within 3 to 7 days of returning, and to get a minimum number of 1 test per week once they return for those first 2 weeks in SLO. We will transition to saliva testing in mid-January, and that will allow us to test many more people and more quickly. We expect that we'll be able to do about 4,000 tests per day once we have that in place, and the tests will be processed on campus. We're also still planning to do wastewater testing, but don't have a specific timeline yet for when that will begin. And that's it for my report today. Thanks.
Thanks, Courtney. There is a question in the chat of what criteria would it take to keep students home until the spring quarter? Has there been any discussion about that?
Yeah, I think that's an ongoing conversation. We work really closely with the county public health department and our own epidemiologists and medical experts. And it's, there's not a specific number or of positive results or quarantine students that I've heard that would trigger that staying home. And at this point, all the plans are to bring students back. And we, at every step of the way, have worked really closely with those outside entities who have been deemed or given authority to oversee this process. And we will continue to do that moving forward.
Great. Are there any other universities in the system that are going to a reduced capacity in the next semester or quarter that you know of?
That's a great question. I know that there's a whole variety of decisions being made based on what's happening locally. For example, when we were triggered to be mostly virtual, the California Department of Public Health had, and the CSU had both of us basing our decision to go virtual on when the local school districts went virtual. And so it's based not only on each university and what's happening at the university level, but also what's happening in the surrounding community. So I don't know, I couldn't break down all the CSUs and what they're doing and the UCs, but I know that there's a whole variety of decisions that are being made, and each college is working with their public health departments and the CSU to look at it in a broad lens, but also what's happening at the local level.
Great. Great. Thank you. I know this is a very complicated situation, so thanks for always answering the questions, the hard questions. There's another question here. What is the best place to send our feedback on bringing back students? Would it be appropriate to do outreach to trustees, to President Armstrong, or is there a public forum for that type of comment?
Yeah, so it depends. Specifically for bringing students back, that because all of our decisions are based on the approval of public health, they can go to county public health, and there's both a phone number and an email that maybe I can look in and put in the chats as we're continuing this meeting. And then there's, if you want to specifically give those comments to Cal Poly, I would say it'd be helpful to send them to me, and then I can forward them on to the appropriate office. Okay. And I'll put my information in the chat as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Courtney. Appreciate it. And up next, we are going to have a conversation with Lee Johnson from the city of SLO. Lee, are you on the line?
I am. Bettina, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Is Rachel going to throw up the slides so we can?
I am working on it.
All right. So a couple things. Rachel covered the numbers, and just so everyone knows, we are still kind of deep in the purple numbers, and things do not look to be improving quickly, but we'll see how the numbers go this week and then go from there. We've had a lot of questions on enforcement and how that all operates, so I'll cover that here briefly, and then we can go from there. Number one, we have the safety enhancement zone in place, which is basically a tool that we have as a city to increase fines and do things in certain periods. If there's big holidays related to Cal Poly, or in this case, the pandemic, where we're able to double the fines for behavior that is not appropriate for the situation that we're in. So that has been in effect basically since the pandemic started, and we've been enforcing that. We've issued 150 citations, more than 150 citations. Most of those are for, parties, group gatherings and things on the private side. There have been some admin citations given out to businesses for various reasons and who are in the enforcement process, and that continues. We've had we're around 550 complaints into our hotline, either from direct phone calls in, emails in, or from the county has forwarded over from their hotline. So we follow up with those people, and mostly it's it's communication, education. People are willing to make the changes. In cases where people will not make the changes or continue to not do the right thing, then we step up to admin citations, which are 1,000 each, and can go from there. People have asked, I put it on social media, why didn't anyone do anything? That really doesn't, our enforcement process doesn't work that way. We need to have it reported via the phone number or emailed to the city. But the phone number is best, and that's 805-783-7835. And it has various choices to ask questions about businesses, to report businesses or individuals, et cetera, et cetera. So that is the way for enforcement to happen if you see something in the community. And then we also have our reopening inquiry form. It's on the website for businesses or people who have questions about what's open, all that kind of stuff. So all of those things are managed all day, every day, and mostly we get back somewhere in less than an hour if someone leaves a voicemail and we weren't able to catch the call. but worst case the next day. Then there's been questions about tents and canopies and all that kind of stuff. I will post some links in, back to enforcement real quick. The county also has an enforcement newsletter that they update every week that talks about the whole county and how many reports they've had and all that kind of stuff. So I'll put that link in the chat as well. But on the parklets and outdoor dining and all that kind of stuff, we've had questions about how do you winterize and all of those, to make it so that people can eat out when it's a little bit colder out and everything. The challenge there is you really can stay dry or have heat. You can't really mix the propane heaters, electric heaters and things with tents and canopies and all of that. So we have the guidelines on our website. I'll also put those links in the chat. If you have a particular special situation, that is different, like some places in the private parking lots have bigger spaces, that kind of stuff, the fire department and SLO are both available to help with those questions, and that their information is in the links that I will put in the chat. So that is it for me today.
Thanks, Lee. I have a question about the hotline for reporting issues. It says it's staffed during regular business hours. If somebody is wants to make a report for something that's happening after regular business hours, do they call that number, leave a voicemail? What's the process there?
It depends. If it's like a business related complaint, you call and leave a voicemail. We'll take it the next day when we have code enforcement and people in. If it's a public safety related issue in the common spaces, like in parks or on the sidewalk or whatever, you can call that hotline. And when you choose that option, that goes to the PD non-emergency line. And you can also report those kind of after hours things to the PD non-emergency line. Those are all the options.
So let's say, and this is totally hypothetical, but if you see somebody, there's a gathering or something on Friday night, it will be responded to the next day. It won't be waiting till Monday.
No, that like the gathering will be related. That's one of the options is on the hotline. If it's in a public area or that kind of thing, then that goes directly to PD's non-emergency line. So they would respond that night.
Okay. I have heard a couple people say they wanted to report, but they didn't know how, if it was only during regular business hours. So that is helpful clarification.
You can also always use the PD non-emergency line and they'll deal with it and either take care of it that night or give it to the right people as soon as we're back in the office, depending on what the situation is.
Thank you. And there is a question in the chat. Does the city have any input about Cal Poly students returning in January?
As Courtney said, we're basically in dialogue all the time with Cal Poly and public health and everybody on what the next steps are, and we provide our input through that process.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Lee. I'm sure Lee is available to you if you have any other questions. And we'll go on to our next presenter, which is our friends from the Chamber. Good morning, Jim. How are you today?
Great, Bettina. It's good to see you. And thank you for all the amazing work that you and the city are doing. Downtown looks amazing. We love it. It's so awesome. And so hopefully people also got to see the fun bike corral outside the Chamber offices. Love how downtown looks. So thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for us, I wanted to just bring a few things up to date. Today, we are closing out, will be the end of our business survey for the month. And actually, if you've had a chance to fill it out prior to, I think it was the 19th when all the changes came down, we'd love to have you take it again just to see if that has changed anything for you. If you haven't taken it, please take it now. We definitely want to look at pre and post changes, but we definitely want to get your input. There's some ideas in there and questions regarding, how you can, even from our work with the city, trying to figure out how we can best help you continue, especially with things like passage of Measure G. That'll take a while to get going, but what are the things that would help you most? It's really important. So I would love to have you take the survey and give us your info. Additionally, this Thursday, as obviously remote work and working remotely has been a necessity during this time, people will eventually may make this a permanent thing as part of their business plan. And one of the key issues is, how do you stay connected? And we have our Insight Studio this Thursday. This is actually for supervisors and employees. So we actually have a discount for you if you bring them, if you come together. But this will be a great conversation on how to build that work culture, how to stay in touch, how to actually do managing through this. So it's this Thursday from 12 to 1:30. We'd love to see you be a part of it and to bring your staff. We think it's super important, obviously, as work culture. And before we get to the Think Differently, I actually do want to bring up that as part of work culture, I mean, one of the things that we've been working on way before this, but now is coming kind of full circle, was the idea of a SLO family-friendly workplace. We're kind of launching that, or not launching it, but First Five is launching it. We're trying to help them get the message out. And so I'm going to put a link in here. There's an entire toolkit here on how to make your business a family-friendly workplace. One of the scariest things I've heard in data coming out of the pandemic is that we've obviously lost a lot of people, workers, but one of the biggest impacts is on women in the workplace. We have returned to 1988 levels of women in the workforce because of the family-friendly or the lack of family-friendly workplace, and having to make the choice between their children and their schooling. That's not something we should ever make folks choose from. So where we can be a family-friendly workplace and do what we can to keep our employees there is a huge issue. You should check it out. There'll be a lot of information coming out. Hopefully you'll get a chance to look at it and see where you can make your workplace family-friendly. Now we can go to the next piece, which is on Think Differently. Obviously, a lot of us here did a lot of events remotely, virtually, trying to stay connected with our group. The city, we are partnering with the city of SLO to do, this will be a free event to come and learn how to potentially put on great virtual events. So we would encourage everybody, this is next Monday, December 7th. We're looking forward to bringing these great people together to get the ideas out on how you can think about your events. So please sign up for that, and you can see it in the link in the chat. And we look forward to seeing you at all of these and trying to obviously get everybody in the best possible position to make it through this pandemic and get out the other side stronger. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Great. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, we'll be inviting First Five to come on and talk about the family-friendly workplace as well. Very concerning to see those numbers about women in the workplace. And I know I listen to Marketplace a lot. That's kind of my favorite economy podcast. And they've called it a she session or a mommy session instead of a recession, because it's really about parenting. So I hope we can be part of that conversation in our downtown businesses. And thanks for taking the lead on that program. Also, I think this event program is going to be great. Our experience working with Amber Carson and Mark Perry through the Light Up Downtown program has just been exemplary. So we're looking forward to participating in that as well. Thanks, Jim. So we've been talking about the Light Up Downtown program, and we do still have a call for volunteers. I'd like to thank everybody for helping us decorate the downtown. It truly does take a village of elves to make everything happen. And whether you've contributed by decorating your business, if you're putting lights in your second story window, or if you came and helped us decorate the light poles or clean up Santa's house, We've just had wonderful participation from volunteers. And we do have the need for more volunteers over the next 5 or 6 weeks. One opportunity is you can join our ELF team to write letters back to from Santa to children who deliver letters to Santa at Santa's house. Another thing we're looking for is Mission Plaza hospitality elves to serve and do some crowd control and some light welcoming and photo assisting in the Mission Plaza. That's a fun activity for sure. So we'll be posting information about that on our website, and we encourage you, if you are looking for a fun thing to do this holiday season, to help us out and participate in that way. In addition to all of the holiday activations that went live this weekend, we also have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to update our website. And I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Whitney Cheney, who was hired originally to run a farmer's market for our organization, but has truly become sort of the IT professional at our organization. And we're going to invite Whitney to give a little overview of how the new downtown website works and what you can expect when you look at it. Whitney?
Thank you, Bettina. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. All right, I'm going to attempt to share this, and it will hopefully work, because now that you've talked about me being the IT person. Okay. Can everyone see this beautiful website?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, welcome to our new and improved website. This launched quietly over the weekend. It has been a labor of love, and it has been really exciting to see it come together. This is only the start of what this will become. This website is hosted through a management software called CityLight, which focuses on business directories, which is something we've really been struggling with, and we're really excited to have this very robust business directory available for both our merchants to showcase who they are, as well as our visitors to have something to have in their hands and be on the ground and discover shops and restaurants and all sorts of fun things. As you can see, the overall layout is very intuitive, everything works, it's mobile friendly, which is really important. That was a big part that we were really struggling with. As you go through the different sizes, it adjusts to the different sizes of your iPad screen or whatever the case may be. Hopefully you guys are all sorting through this as I go through it. Something that's beautiful is all of our different events, whatnot, you can go through it. There's a lot of really cool capabilities, but the one star that really shines here is our business directory. So through our business directory, you can now go through and see this beautiful map, and you can see all these different businesses. They all have different tags. You can have as many tags as you want. It'll filter them out as you go through. If you just don't even know what you want, maybe you want to search for SLO Yoga Center. Our searching capabilities are really robust. An example I'll show you is our SLO Yoga Center boutique, which recently opened. As you can see, this is what our new business listings will sort of look like. If there's more than one image, you can scroll through them. It's really just elevating the game for our business directory and allowing people to not only find the business they're looking for, but also see what's nearby, which is also really cool. So down below, you'll see how far away everything is. We can modify this to include the parking, nearby parking and whatnot. We also have the parking map located within if you go through these different navigations. Here's all of our parking options. It's pretty cool. And the other nice thing is that with this, everything tied in, I'll go back to the SLO Yoga Center. During the holiday season, this first image that you see on their page will actually be populating onto our holiday page. Also, let's just be excited for how quickly these pages are loading, because that was something else we struggled with.
Yay!
If you go to the holiday map at the bottom, their first image will be populating in here so that people that are going through the holiday window showcase will be able to see it here. These photos were taken by the Geraldo Photography, and it's just, they are so great. We're going to be uploading them to Facebook. We'll also have them on the Google form that is currently open for voting. I think we have over 200 votes already, and this thing opened on Saturday, which is pretty cool. But overall, it's just been this beautiful thing that there were moments where I was like, what is happening? But to see it all come together and launch, it's just a fabulous website. I encourage you all to dive in, poke around, search for things. If you have things for your businesses you want updated on there, please reach out to me. But thank you to the board for approving the funds to transition to this, because it's a really cool program, and it's really going to up our game in terms of our merchants being visible online, as well as our visitors, both local and visitors alike, being able to find who they want, what kind of information, and getting a hold of the businesses too is really important. So we're really excited.
Thank you, Whitney. And I can't emphasize enough what a heavy lift this was, especially with everything that's been going on. So really 3 cheers for you. And it's just great to be part of a network of this website, which is connected to so many other downtowns and business districts, because while we were going through the design for this program, we could go to Boulder, we could go to Boise, we could go to DC, all of these other districts that are on the same platform. We could say, oh, we want it to look a little bit like this, or we want to have an element of this and a little bit of this. And that also means that we're going to bring our best practices to that network as well. So other communities might say, oh, well, we want our website to look like downtown San Luis Obispo's. So it just is raising our profile in lots of different ways. So thank you, Whitney, and I hope that you can poke around, enjoy the new website, and watch it continue to evolve over time. So with that, we encourage you to come onto the website and check it all out. And we also have another new program that launched today, actually. You may recall that the last Monday Zoom we had 2 weeks ago, we spent a long time talking about the outreach to our population that is homeless and the people who are unsheltered in our downtown. And I'm happy to say that actually right now we have 2 outreach workers from SLO, Maria and Cecil, who will be working with us and with our ambassadors starting today. So they are out on the streets right now getting the lay of the land. And I originally had invited them to come in and share their information with us this morning, but instead I'm going to wait until next week when they have a little bit more sea legs under their just a little more experience. But so lots of things are going on in addition to the holidays downtown. So we've got a pandemic, we've got a new website, we've got a total crazy imagining of downtown. We have all of your businesses. We had a Shop Small Saturday that I've heard from many of you has been a very, very successful experience. I'm glad to hear about that. And we just continue to move forward. So thank you to everybody for such a heavy lift that we've got going on. We also still have our produce boxes available for pickup. If you are interested in getting your fruits and veggies and you miss getting that at the farmer's market, you can order ahead by Sunday night. And maybe if you ate too much pie like me over the weekend, you want to cut down on the Christmas cookies and do some fruits and veggies, order by Sunday and you can pick up your box on Thursday. And now we're going to move into our favorite element of the week, which is our weekly polls. I'm very interested to see how everyone's feeling today after Shop Small Saturday, after the soaring numbers of COVID cases, and as the temperature starts to drop. So we can see that in general, I think we're a pretty neutral group. There might be 1 or 2 pessimists out there, but mostly we see people who are neutral or somewhat optimistic. So I encourage you, if you've maybe switched over, minimized your screen and you're checking your email or something, come back to our Zoom screen so you can participate in this poll. We've gotten about half of you voting right now. Please continue to do that. We'll close it up in just a couple of seconds. I spent a lot of time downtown over the weekend and I was just sort of feeling a good vibe around there. So I hope that that is helpful. And I think here we go. We've gotten some, well, you guys are not feeling very good today. Looks like you're mostly somewhat pessimistic. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, well, I just don't know what to say about that. I'm not sure how to interpret the optimism versus pessimism at this time. There is good news coming out about vaccines, so hopefully that will be a little bit helpful. But of course, the timeline for adopting those and moving forward is going to be challenging. Did you all see those results? Yes? No? Okay, let's go on to the next one now. And let's talk about your biggest challenge facing your business today. Interestingly, I think the lowest thing that people have been concerned about really since the initial stages has been concerned kind of for the safety of our employees and ensuring they do not become sick. And I will say that that's for me personally something that I am concerned about now with the higher numbers. I've been exercising intense safety precautions, and all of the activities that we've created for the downtown holiday activations are with safety in mind and distancing in mind. But it's certainly something that is really challenging at this time. But the number one thing that we're all continuing to be concerned about, and of course the thing that we have the least control over, is consumer confidence. And this is going to continue to play out regardless of whether we have holidays or whether we have different policies in place. The pandemic has just rendered our pocketbooks in difficult situations. So I think that's going to continue to be the thing that is the most prevalent on this survey. And as I see the answers come in, it's looking like that is continuing to happen. We've got one more vote here, just a couple more seconds before we share the results here. Interestingly, we're not seeing a lot of concern about hiring employees at this time. I was concerned going into the holiday season if with the Cal Poly students not in town as much, that we might have some retail staffing issues. But I haven't been hearing about that as much. But yep, again, uncertain consumer confidence is the clear winner here. So we'll continue asking those questions, and we'll continue to provide the information to you as it continues to evolve and become available. We are also working on putting together some recommendations to the City Council for the next 2-year budget cycle. The process each year is that there's a number of ways for citizens and different partner organizations with the city to provide input on that 2-year budget process. Our organization generally provides feedback to City Council and aggregates the information from its different committees. As you all know, our committees have been restructured this year during the course of the pandemic. And so we'll be reaching out to you all to get some feedback for what you would like to see, some of the changes that may have come about as a response to the pandemic that perhaps could be extended or expanded in some way. And also some of the trends that we're seeing from around the city through our relationships with the National Main Street Association and the International Downtown Association. So next week, I hope that we can have a conversation about that, and please put your heads together in the meantime and start doing some thinking about what you might want to see there. I believe there is also a survey that's open on the Open City Hall website through the city right now that you can give your feedback. So on this Monday after Thanksgiving, I will just close and say, I'm thankful for each of you, and we'll give you all a little bit of a gift of time. It is 10:39 right now, so we'll end early so that you can all get back to, I'm sure, what is a very busy Monday for you. As always, we are available to you. Please call us or email us at reachus@downtownslo.com. Follow us on social media. Let us know if you'd like to volunteer with any of our holiday activations, and please check out our new website at downtownslo.com. Thanks so much and have a wonderful week.